Hey guys, it's Brittany and welcome to my second Valentine's Day video. So I felt like being kind of fabulous today. That's why I have my sunglasses on, and I don't know, this jacket just makes me feel really fabulous. And the man in this creepy story, he kind of just made me feel fabulous because he goes on a vacation all by himself to the Bahamas. So I don't know, but obviously I wouldn't wear this jacket to the Bahamas, but I would wear these sunglasses for sure. So there was this 21-year-old man and he went to the Bahamas by himself for a holiday. He was so happy because the weather was so nice, the beach was so nice, his hotel was classy. He was so happy to be there. So the very first night that he was there, he decided to go down to the bar and maybe socialize, just like, you know, have a few drinks, you know, whatever. So he went down there and he spotted this woman and he could not take his eyes off of her. She had a red dress, she had long brown hair, and he really wanted to talk to her, so he made his way right on over to her. So he made it over to the woman and he offered to buy her a drink, and she was like, no. She instantly said no, and that really annoyed him. But you know what? So I don't drink, I don't go to bars, I don't go to clubs. It's never been my scene, right? But it's so cringy to me when I hear about some random guy going up to a girl and being like, I want to buy you a drink. Like, if I was a part of that scene and somebody said that to me, like, it's just, I don't know. That's just me. I think it's so cringy. I can buy my own drink, thanks. I can make my own drink too, thanks. I don't know, it's something that just bothers me, but I don't know. And also, you don't know the person. You don't know if they're gonna put something in your drink and then, you know, I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, so he was super annoyed and he was embarrassed, so he left the bar. So it was the second night and he decided that he was gonna go back down to that bar and hopefully see this woman. And of course, he did. So he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go right on over to her again. Hopefully she doesn't remember me, but she probably does, and let's start this over. So he walks on over to her, he introduces himself to her, and she was like, why would I care what your name is? And he was like, oh, well, I thought maybe we could get to know each other a bit more. And she said, I'd rather chew my leg off. First of all, who says that? That's so mean and so rude. But this guy, he was so embarrassed. So he just left. Oh my god, I feel so bad for this guy. So it was the next day and he decided to go out and explore. So he's just walking around and trying to enjoy himself. He was enjoying himself, but he was still really thinking about that woman and how she embarrassed him. He then came across a woman with a sign that said spell casting and black magic. So he was like, oh my god, hey, I gotta go over here. He went up to the woman and he asked her, do you have any love potion, anything to make a woman fall head over heels in love with me? The woman then said, yes, I have something that is perfect for you. She then brought out a bottle with a heart on it. There's no heart on this bottle, but to me this looks like love potion. It's actually Britney Spears perfume Fantasy, and it's my all-time favorite perfume ever, but I just thought it looks like love potion, so just pretend that this is the love potion, but really it's Britney Spears Fantasy, and oh my god, I live for it. Why isn't it working? Oh, there we go. I could just spray this on me all day. Smells so good, and I always get compliments. Yes, okay, anyways. So this bottle, it had a heart on it, and there was a red syrup-like liquid on the inside. She then told the man that this is a love potion. He was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I am totally buying this. So he just, like, you know, he bought it. So as he was leaving, the woman then said, make sure you only put 1 drop into the woman's drink. That sounds so bad, like putting something into a woman's drink, but that's what he was supposed to do because she has to, you know, drink it for it to work. And he just kind of was like, huh? And she said, if you put more than 1 drop, then you will regret it. So the guy's just walking away like, yeah, lady, like, whatever. So he walks away and just completely ignores what this woman's telling him. Use 1 drop. So that night, he decided to go back down to that bar and hopefully see that woman so he could use his precious love potion. And of course, he did see her, so he went right up to her again. And as she turned his head, or as she turned her head, he whipped out the love potion and he was like, hey, you know what? 1 drop ain't gonna work. I'm putting the whole bottle into her drink. That woman told you one single drop. And still, like, this is such a bad story, but like, yeah, putting something into a woman's drink, even putting something into a man's drink, you just don't do that. So yeah, he just dumped the whole bottle into her drink as her head was just like facing the other way. And of course, you know, she picked up her drink and she was drinking it, and you know, nothing happened at first. 20 minutes later, this girl was head over heels in love with this man. She jumped on him, she was like kissing him, she was hugging him, like she was going crazy over this guy. And he was like, yes, it worked, she's in love with me. They spent the whole night together. It was like they were on their honeymoon and they were just so in love, but even though it wasn't love because they just met. But that was all soon gonna change, because the next day, this woman, she left her hotel and she was hit by a car. The tires of the car, like, you know, hit her head, ran over her head, so it squished her head and she died instantly. Totally random, I know. So that whole day, the man, he was so upset, he was crying, but then later on that night, he was starting to forget about this woman. Like, what? This story is so messed up. Like, you know, you went out of your way to get a love potion to put in this woman's drink so she fell in love with you, and then, you know, after she dies, when you wanted her to fall in love with you, you start to get over her. Not even like 24 hours later, like, it's just, I don't know. So that night, he was laying in bed and he could not sleep. He felt as if somebody was in the room with him, and he was so right. When he turned around, he saw the ghostly apparition of the woman in the red dress sitting in the corner looking up at him. She looked decomposed, completely decomposed, and she was just staring at him. Then she ran and jumped on him and just was basically attacking him and like trying to kiss him and stuff. And he was screaming his head off because she had her, like, she was all bony, all of her bones were showing. She was basically a skeleton. The story is really messed up. You know, when I read these stories, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be really good on my channel. Then when I say it out loud, I start to think, you know, this is very disturbing. But then I remember, this is what I do on my channel, so. But it is still very disturbing. So even when this woman died, she was still head over heels in love with him, obsessed with him, and she never left his side as a ghost. She was with him until the day that he would die. So anyways, guys, that is the end of the story. I hope that you enjoyed it. I know it is pretty disturbing and just really weird, but my question is, who would you want to use a love potion on? And like I said, my Britney Spears fantasy totally looks like love potion. I don't know if it's focused, but I love it so much. But yeah, let me know who you would want to use love potion on. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you rock my world and the song lyrics of Michael Jackson. Hashtag team Britney44, hashtag Barilla Renz, hey, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.